Kentucky. The 21st version of the Sports Shop Drop In. Again, that's 21 times we've done this.
21.
21
Man.
times. It's amazing.
We legal now. We legal now.
Oh, 21 times. You're right.
Yeah, we legal now.
Man, we are legal. That's a good point. But we're waiting for our guests to come on momentarily. But one of the things, Chucky came back, I just want to chime in and see can we start kind of unpack the NBA Finals as a whole. It was a different type of the season was obviously different because of COVID and the bubble. And Chucky, since you have one of those rings and one of those Larry O'Brien trophies, talk about, if you will, just your assessment on the I guess the finals and the whole playoffs in general.
I thought it was a little different. Of course, it was a little different this year because of the COVID thing. I thought that as far as the presentation went, the NBA did a great job of presentation. And then, when we talked to Nate and he told us what was going on behind the scenes, I mean, they really did a great job of making sure that, okay, we want this thing to go for the rest of the time. Or we want to go its time out with no problems.
Right.
I thought the games started off a little bit like sluggish. The guys were out of it a little bit, but I thought as the games went on, they got better because guys got in better shape. Guys' egos got tested a little bit, so guys wanted to go out and compete.
Yeah.
But I thought that overall it was good. I thought the officiating was okay. I thought it was okay for once. I thought it was okay. I thought they did a good job officiating. I liked Capers in particular, Jim Capers. I thought John Goble did a good job. But I thought overall it was good. It was good overall. I thought it was good overall. Entertaining. The last game was, because it was a blowout, wasn't as entertaining. But I thought overall it was very entertaining.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it was really, really entertaining. We talked about it earlier on the show. I was disappointed in some of the teams that we felt had more talent that they didn't come through and they didn't do a better job. But and overall, for what they had to deal with, putting it together, keeping all of the players safe, I think they did a wonderful job. So I commend them for that. I commend them for actually being able to do that. And actually, I think a lot of those guys got a chance to grow being in the bubble. And all they had to do was focus on basketball for a change. I think they helped them out quite a bit too.
Right.
Chucky, do you think it was tainted, or you put an asterisk by because they really play if you will, a full season?
Right.
Should people kind of like be somewhat? I guess it's a controversial championship because it wasn't like the championship as we know in the past. Of old, if you will.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit. I think it'll be an asterisk beside it because, there was no home. It wasn't a normal situation. Like a lot of times, a home court. Who knows if it was a home court advantage? Maybe the Clippers come out of that series. You know what I'm saying? Because they got two chances to win at home. You know what I'm saying? Instead of everybody having equal playing field with no fans, the fake fans. And I think it'll probably be an asterisk beside. I mean, I'm gonna always remember it. I'm not taking anything away from what the Lakers did, though. I mean, still, everybody's on level playing field. Y'all came out on top. But I think there would have been, I think as tough as it is to play in Utah, Denver is down 3-1. I don't see them coming out of Utah if they got a home court. You know what I'm saying? Because that home court really helps Utah. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's tough to play up there. Then you got the altitude to deal with up there as well. So I think it will be an asterisk beside it. But that's not to take anything away from what the Lakers did. Actually the Lakers did what they were supposed to do because they were the top dog. Them and the Clippers were the top teams where everybody was expecting to win it anyway.
You're right. Yeah, they definitely were.
I just, me personally, I thought we was somewhat cheated because the Clippers didn't get a chance to play the Lakers.
Right.
When we had the restart all season long, everybody was talking about Kawhi against LeBron and PG. 13 against Anthony Davis. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see that. It's not the Lakers' fault. They did their job.
Right.
But, and tell me, I mean, you may want to come in this or not. Me and K-Mac, I think K-Mac agreed with this. I think Doc Rivers I didn't think he did his best coaching job in that situation.
No.
That's why he's not the coach there anymore.
Right.
How you guys feel about that? How you feel about that, Chucky?
I think that Doc probably got shafted a little bit because you got to remember when they was voting on playing again, the Clippers were one of the main teams saying don't play. So that mindset right there, they probably really didn't even want to be there anymore anyway. So I can't really blame Doc for the performance of the guys because the guys didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was a regular circumstance where Doc had, he was home crowd and all that, I can put more to blame on Doc. So I think I have to put more to blame on the players because mentally, some of them had probably semi-checked out when they, after the situation that happened in Wisconsin where they decided to not play and then they went and took the vote. The Clippers and the Lakers were two of the teams that said, we don't, we shouldn't play anymore. You know what I'm saying? So they may have halfway checked out. Now the Lakers seem to have regrouped a little quicker than the Clippers, but I just think that the Clippers might have been halfway out of it. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't want to be there anyway, and you could kind of tell by the way they played in Game 7. To me, I mean, dude was hitting the side of the backboard. You call yourself, a premier player, and you hitting the side of the backboard. I'm 52. I'll go out there and play with him now. I won't hit the side of the backboard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my feeling.
I will say though, Chuck. But look. At the end of the day,
right?
Doc Rivers had probably one of the most talented squads outside of the Lakers in the playoffs, right? He had the most talent. And I think Doc Rivers still is in his feelings because he lost one of those positions that he had where he was the GM, the president, head coach, and part owner. I think he was really still in his feelings that he couldn't have his way, and he wasn't interested in trying to coach those guys to be champions. I don't think he was hungry enough to coach them well enough to actually be champions. It's hard to say you have that kind of talent and that's the performance you put out, COVID or not, bubble or not, they all had the same issues with the bubble. PG wasn't the only one. Paul George wasn't the only one struggling mentally in the bubble. Right. He wasn't the only one. The other players struggled in the bubble mentally, missed their families, all this other stuff. Right. So there's no real excuse for that. But it is what it is. But I think people giving Doc Rivers his pass on it was this, it was that. Man, that's bullshit. Man, look, I ain't trying to hear that. You got one of the most talented squads playing. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm just trying to tell you. It is what it is, bro. You got to do better. Right. And if you don't want to be there anymore, which apparently they didn't because he was summarily dismissed, and I don't think he had any problems with it once it was time to go. I really don't.
Hey, Reese, I would say this. When K-Mac said that's bullshit, it sounded like a dude should have been behind him with the Clippers cutting, because that's what dudes say when he sits in the barber chair. Man, that bullshit should be getting
it's all about exactly right, man.
He sounded like he was in the barber chair.
Then you have a guy walking the door, ask the barber, how many you got, man? How many you got?
How many you got? Yo, how many you got?
I'm up next.
But no, man, K-Mac said that. I mean,
that's
I'm
right.
I'm not giving Doc a pass on that, because if you think about Reggie Jackson, who played well up until he didn't even put him in the game. I'm thinking like, what are you doing, Doc? So he had checked out, and consequently, I think that's why he lost. But again, I think we were somewhat robbed of that opportunity, because I really want to see the Lakers really have some stiff competition. But maybe next year. Speaking of that, I know your good friend Sam Cassell was one of the coaches. I'm hearing that Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy, they're like leading guys for their job. Why didn't get Sam I am a shot out there, Chucky?
I don't know. Sam, I spoke to him, when he was in the bubble, and I talked to him, and when the whole Steve Nash thing went down. So he said, he's just waiting for his chance, and it may take a little longer, but he's gonna be patient. That's what he told me. So I don't know why. I mean, I thought that maybe the Clippers would be looking to do something like Toronto did with when they got rid of Dwayne Casey. They hired Nick Nurse, somebody on the staff, and they had the squad already. They had the squad they felt like could win the championship. They made the one move with DeMar DeRozan. I think that was the only move they made. But I thought the Clippers might be looking at doing something like that. With keeping a guy that's already on the staff because he knows the guys, then you got the system already that you like and the guys probably like. And the NBA is about players too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's only a few coaches that can come in and demand like Phil Jackson was a coach that could come in and, Larry Brown, you know what I'm saying? But these other coaches like Frank Vogel came in and Frank Vogel was like, look, I got to do what these cats want. Find out what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for all these coaches. You know what I'm saying? So there's only a few coaches that are able to come in and, say and do what they want to do.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, I mean, but at the end of the day, players respect, knowledge. Players respect.
Right.
I mean, if you know what you're doing, players respect that, and we can move on. And if you're out there trying to fake it till you make it, look, players don't have time for that. They're not checking for that. Right. And look, you got to call it like it is. You got to be straight up about it.
Right.
If you're out there, bull jiving around.
Right.
Yeah. You can say it's a sports shop, man. We off the air.
I know. I'm just trying to be kind for some of those softnesses. But if you got that bullshit, I'm just telling you. At the end of the day, that's a problem. That's a problem and a half.
Hey.
I just believe, we all been there, right?
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, I don't care if you're 26, 28, or 68.
Right.
Look, let's roll, let's ride.
Yeah.
But if you out there faking it, it just don't go right. It just don't flow.
Hey, let's pivot to a question that is going to be going on for next year or so, maybe two. I don't know. I'm even having some second thoughts about this question. Chucky, as a guy that played 13 years in that league, in the association, and you play against Michael, you probably seen the likes of Dr. J and all those guys. They was gone.
Right.
But the guy that's wearing number 23 for the Lakers right now, he's the best you ever seen. He's the best to ever do it.
Thank you, Chucky.
No, not to me. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. LeBron James, great player.
That was close, K-Mac.
He's not the best to ever do it to me. Now, these young kids coming up, that's all they've seen. To them, he's the best that ever did it. I've seen the game change to where the defense is pretty much at the mercy of the offense. While playing in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was more of an even playing field a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So to be at the mercy of the offense, man, I mean, you could see by the high scoring, the league wanted more scoring, especially after the Mike Fratello Cleveland Cavaliers, who would put up like 77 points and win a game. So, nobody wants to see that. But no, LeBron is not the best I've ever seen. Like I always tell people, Kareem is my GOAT. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is my GOAT.
Right.
But I don't argue with people that say Mike was a bad dude now. Mike was a bad dude. So, I got Kareem. My top five will go just like this right here. It go in this order right here.
Okay.
And it would go Kareem.
Right.
Mike.
Right.
Magic.
Wow.
Bird.
Wow.
Akeem Olajuwon.
Well,
That's my five.
You really can't argue.
Hold on.
That's my five.
Man, let me mute. Let me mute your mic.
Let's go, Max. Let's go.
We got
No, Chucky, you tripping.
Now, I would keep Kareem, obviously, who I love. Kareem, I mean, Kareem Saint, they outlawed dunking because of Kareem. If you look at basketball as a whole, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the game. So
that's right.
I went to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's my five.
Okay.
That's what it's Michael.
Right.
For me, not for me. People are gonna holler. Kobe Bryant is right there in my third
spot.
All
right.
Kobe Bryant is right there in my third spot. Now this is my damn five, so don't get mad at me. So
it's too late now. It's too late now. You already put it out there. It's too late now.
In the fourth spot, you got to go with the guy who won 11 rings, man.
Oh, Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. You got to go with Bill Russell. He won 11.
Ain't nobody seen him play, man.
Regardless, I mean, back in those days, could nobody go left? Everybody went right the whole game. But it doesn't matter though. I mean, it is what it is.
Come on, Reed. They had to get the ladder to get the ball every time he made a basket.
I know, but in my
they had no bottom. Look, they still had the bottom in the basket. Man.
In my fifth position, in my fifth position, for my money, Dr. J, that's my guy.
Okay, all right, I like that. I like that.
Who? Julius the Dr. Irving. That's who.
Go ahead, put Dominique in there too.
Man, come on now, come on.
Put Carmelo in there. Go ahead. Put the ball in there.
Who's your 5 right quick?
Who's your 5, Matt?
Yeah, now listen.
Kareem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Kareem, Magic, Kobe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Kareem, Magic, MJ, Kobe, and then you can throw right? The rest of them don't matter. I mean, the rest of them is just like okay. Isaiah Thomas, I don't care.
Really? Well, see, only reason why I don't.
That's just a joke. Isaiah Thomas.
Only reason why I don't have like Bill Russell. I got Wilt Chamberlain in my top 10 because of stats alone. So I never saw Wilt play, but because of those, I mean, he had a 5 double, whatever that is. I saw these stats that Wilt had. So,
but wait a minute,
Chucky.
They say he scored 100 points in one game, right?
Right. So there it is.
No, wait a minute. Here's my question. Were you there, Chucky?
Okay.
Were you there at the game?
Huh? Did you see it?
You see it?
Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
They don't have no video on it, and the only guy that kept stats on it, he died last year. So we really can't confirm. Well, that's true or not.
Snooki Robinson died
last year. He was 95.
Snooki was the only person. He was the only person that had the book. Snooki still had the book when he died.
He was very with his stat sheet. So I don't know, but you're right. Wilt Chamberlain is phenomenal. But I mean, we could go all back and forth on this.
Right.
But I noticed one thing though, and some people will kill us. LeBron James' name wasn't even mentioned in that conversation. That's interesting.
No,
and why would we?
Yeah,
why would we?
Yeah, I wouldn't have. The reason I don't have LeBron. I mean, if we're going on, championships, he's 4 for 10 in championships. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Brady is the GOAT in football because he's 6-2, 6-3.
Yeah.
Right. He's 6-3. So if you're the GOAT, if we're going by criteria of rings. LeBron can't. I mean, LeBron is behind Kobe. Then he's got to be behind Kobe because Kobe got 5 of them, so he's got to be behind Kobe. So and I got Kobe at 6.
Here's a question because millennials probably don't get. They don't quite get it because they joke from job to job to job. They used to it. So that's what they do.
Right.
But here's a question: how much does the fact that LeBron James went from team to team to team to team with multiple all-star players on every team he's gone to. I don't care what you say about the Cleveland team and all that other stuff.
Right.
Every team he's gone to, he's played with all-stars. How much of that hurts his legacy when it comes to being one of the greatest to ever play this game?
I think it hurt. Go ahead, Reese.
Let me say this. We would have the best discussion we've had in 21 damn weeks. And I got to jump off, which is really pissing me off.
I'm just seeing people up to come back next week. That's all. I'm just to come back next week.
We're gonna have part 2. I got to jump off. I got to go do something else. But but you heard my 5, Chucky. I'm gonna try to get back on. We may finish real soon, but this is a good conversation. Man, we got to do this again. We'll do this conversation again.
We're gonna do it again.
All right, guys.
We're gonna get it back going. Right. Look, and Chucky don't know what he talking about. Really. I don't care what you say. Chucky don't know what he talking about.
Hey, it's me and you now, Mac. Okay, so now, will it hurt his legacy? I think it will hurt his legacy to like the real basketball purist. They will not appreciate him moving and teaming up with guys. You know what I'm saying? Because years ago, if you look, and I know the game changed. The free agency changed and all that because of Oscar Robertson or whatever. The free agency changed. But, years ago, the Lakers built their dynasty through the draft. You know, they got the only like free agent they got was Kareem, I believe, was the only free agent that they got. But they got Magic through the draft. They got AC Green through the draft. They got Byron Scott through the draft. They got James Worthy through the draft. You know what I'm saying? So that was their core was built through the draft. And you know, like Magic got his rings right there. You know, you have Michael who got drafted by Chicago and didn't leave until basically he was forced out. You know, he got all his rings in Chicago. You know, he left, came back, and got 3 more. And to twice three-peat says a lot. You know, and if you look at Michael's roster, you know, I mean, you had, you know, Rodman came in. You had Rodman and Pippen, and nobody will remember the other guys. And, you know, the other guys were decent players too, but nobody will remember those guys. You know, whereas, you know, LeBron went to, you know, Miami. And you have, you know, Dwayne Wade, who will probably be in the Hall of Fame and who's a top, many have him a top 5 2-guard all time. You know, Chris Bosh, who was a great player, walking double-double, will more than likely get in the Hall of Fame. I think he had to leave because of the heart thing. Didn't he have a heart thing or something like that? He had something going on, some type of illness. You know, and I know LeBron's Cleveland roster wasn't that good, and he got them to the finals. But still, you know, you basically teaming up with other guys. I think it will hurt his legacy as far as the basketball purist goes. Now, as far as his fans go, they don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, they don't care about that. They don't care. You know, they don't care nothing about that. So here's what we're gonna do, Chuck. We're gonna tee this thing up.
Right.
We're gonna set up the next episode, the next drop in.
Okay.
For those that are listening, the next drop in is gonna be purely about the debate of LeBron James and his legacy compared to the greats in the NBA. Because, and I want everybody to bring your facts, bring your stats, bring your top 5s, bring your, well, if he would have had blah, 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 blah. And you could bring your Wilt Chamberlains and your 100-point games. You can bring all of that. But I just want to have a conversation the way we all have a conversation of, does it really matter? What about this? What about that? What about that? And is he as great as some people say? Okay. I got a different opinion on it. You know, some people call me a hater, right? But I just want to have a real debate. Is he as great as some people say? So everybody that's out there, everybody that's listening, let's just table this. We're gonna come back next week.
Write it down.
And look, and if you want to bring some reinforcements, bring some reinforcements. Bring your people. If you know some legends that want to chime in, bring your people. But we're gonna have a real conversation.
Okay.
Agreed?
Agreed.
All right. Sounds good, man. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait to do this again. We'll do it again next week. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be surprised, Chucky. Some people, they don't like you, boy, as much as you think they do. Okay. I'm telling you, they don't like it. So Perry said he's gonna be in the house. I'm sure he's gonna be there. I got a couple of guys, Mills, and a few of the guys from the cigar shop. I know they're gonna chime in. All right. But yeah, it's gonna be old school, knockdown, drag out, just like we do in the barbershop. Let's settle it once and for all. Let's get it all out of the way. We'll take care. Sounds like a plan?
All right, sound like a plan.
All right, brother. All right, take care. Appreciate everybody for chiming in. We'll check you guys out next week. All right.